Okay. Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. All right. So good to have everybody for the for our November Connect with Your Pet. And so I'm really excited. I was working on, I've been working on this concept of like this practice space and what I was going to do for a couple of years. I spent last year working on finding various topics to cover, and then and it was always a lot. And how do I meet people where they are? And put a lot of pressure on myself for it. And then I decided I'm just going to put that aside and say, hey, anybody who wants to expand on their capabilities, increase their connection with their pet, they can join us and we can go through these exercises and giving you guys an opportunity in a really safe place to be able to practice, maybe even learn from each other a little bit. And yeah, just kind of build off of that a little bit. So excited to have everybody here. This is being recorded and it will be uh, published on my YouTube channel. So if for some reason you don't want your video on or something like that, feel free to make a change to that. And because I understand that that is both a blessing and a curse that we can share this information, right? But, always want to make sure it goes in the right hands. Okay, and I'm just bringing in some last minute people. So I had 8 pets and counting that were being submitted for photos for a reading. And so I'm not sure that we're going to get to all 8. Um, but here's what we are going to do. We are going to start off with just revisiting some of the foundational pieces of being able to connect with your pet. We're going to then go through the meditation and get ourselves grounded, open up our heart space. And with some instruction, you will picture a pet in your own mind. And okay. And uh, anyway, so you can connect with the pet that you have in your own space. I'll give you the instructions for that. And then you'll be jotting down any information that you got. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and connect with, like I said, I've got about 8. So we'll see how many we get through as we come into the 7:30, as we get to the 7:30 hour. And then see what other kind of feedback is out there. So sound good? I'm excited. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my slides. Yeah, let's see. And how does that look for you guys? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm managing my desktop a little bit here for just 1 second. There we go. So I like to be able to see. And I have the chat window open as well. So thanks for your patience. Always takes a second to use the real estate in the best way. And I like seeing everybody. I like seeing all the faces. Yeah. Hi, Barb.
Hey there.
Hey. Glad you could join. Okay. So while we're going through this, you can always either raise your hand, literally. There's a raise hand button if you know how to use that. You're welcome to. And then the chat window. So I'll take a look over there as well to kind of keep an eye on things. But let's get started. So let's see. All right. And I don't need to introduce myself to everybody here. I think I've chatted with probably everyone. But I do like to say in this space, that I'm Marla Santino, and my role is an animal communicator. And that what that means to me is that I am the voice for the pet. So it's my responsibility to help provide any of the messages and information that pets need and want to be able to provide to their humans, the pet caregiver, pet parent, however you'd like I don't want to say label that, but label that. Um, as always, expectations here are that there should be no expectations. We make sure that this is a safe space for everybody. We are all coming from different backgrounds, different experiences. We're on a different path. We've had, right? We all come from different ways. So we'll just be open to what we hear from other people and open to what we discover about ourselves as well. All right. And no judging zone. So, I often have people come and say, something weird happened to me. And I'm like, yeah. I hear weird all the time. And so anyway, it's not unusual, and it's welcome here to allow that imagination and that openness to be present. All right. So we're going to spend a couple minutes talking about how do we create that heartfelt connection with our pets. So the first step in this is going to be recognizing where you are in your own sort of headspace, right? So be entering. We'll take a minute as we're preparing for the meditation to clear our minds. We recognize that all of us have been in different places that brought us here. We have different things that are going to be part of us, part of our responsibilities or tasks or what have you after this, and then certainly tomorrow and in the weekend. So we're going to let those go for now and just recognize that we're present in this time, in this space. We'll do some work with our breath during that process. And the goal will be to open up our heart space. So through grounding and connection to our Father Sky and our planetary systems, along with Mother Earth, we'll be able to create that connection in that space where we can be open for messages and that information. And then first, the really, really important part about this is that you all trust in this process. So like I said, we're all coming from different places, and the hardest part of this is just allowing the messages to come to you and then accepting them. You got to think of this as like pets will often throw us a softball and just see what we might do with it. And if you immediately, and it happens to all of us, it's a very natural human thing to do, and you sort of disregard it and and you say, oh, you already have that, or what do you mean you need that too, or whatever. I don't know. And then you've kind of cut off the communication. So instead, a really good practice is allowing those thoughts to come in, thanking them, and setting them aside. I've heard of people putting them in a room, in a box, on a cushion, like wherever you think that you could set those thoughts, those ideas, and ask them to just wait there for you while you finish this time connecting with your pet is a really good practice. All right. So it's always easier to go with your flow than fight the process. So whatever comes to you, um, acknowledge it, thank it for coming, and then you can ask it to step aside. Okay. Has everybody got a piece of paper and a pen with you? Okay. Yep. You're all going to want one of those. Because you're going to be jotting down some of those messages, images, thoughts, whatever comes to you during this experience. And you're going to want that handy. All right. And then again, first and foremost, everybody, this is here to be fun and share in love. And so be really gentle with yourself. Like, you're going to be in the moment and you get this like image, and then you start thinking about how, you were supposed to, clean something in your garden today, and you're like, dang, sorry, thanks for coming. And be ready for the next message to come through. Okay. All right. So, oh, before I forget, that's why I put this slide in here, because I would go through this whole thing without telling you the stuff I'm supposed to. So before I forget, I do have classes that are coming up. I have a basics course I'm doing again in January. I'm going it online. And so anybody who's taken basics, you're welcome to do it again. Or if you haven't and you're curious, you could see some information about it on my website. And then also I have two communication level twos that I'm doing. One is online January 27th, and another one's in person in Salem on the 24th. If you've taken a basics course and you want to know what do I need to do to be prepared for a level two, the answer is practice, practice, practice. Because if you're welcome to join the class at any time. If you're going to get something from it, no matter what. However, once you've had an opportunity to do some practice, and taking some notes about your experience, like what we're going to do tonight, that helps you to prepare for being open to really getting more benefit from that next level, taking it to the next level. Okay. And that's really the time where we're going to be looking at those blocks, those blockages or the hurdles that you run into that interrupt your connection. So the more you know about how your connection works, the better you are about understanding, all right, these are the blocks or these are the hurdles that I'm currently challenged with or trying to get over. Okay. Does that make sense? Yes, go ahead, Peggy.
Yeah, do the classes, the two workshops that you've done in Lake Oswego this year, are those the same as the animal communication basics, or is the basics class in more depth?
The basics class is in more depth.
Okay.
It is different than what I did in the Lake Oswego classes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good question. Yeah, that was a unique one because I didn't know who was coming or what was what the foundations were, what the
Yeah.
people's backgrounds were. Yeah. Any other questions about that? Okay, good. All right, we're ready to connect. Done with my scroll moment. Okay, so this is where we get to take the opportunity to get ourselves grounded, connected it with our breath, centered in our body, and uh, and it allows for that open communication and for that connection with our pets. We're going to take a few minutes to do a meditation that helps to bring that grounding and the centering into place. When we're done with this, I will ask you to come back to um, our meeting, so to speak. So kind of opening up your eyes a bit, right? Waking up your body a little bit. But at which point I'll then be asking you to connect with a pet. So if you have a pet in mind, particularly those that submitted a picture with a question, have that as your pet and your question that you'd like to ask them. For others that maybe didn't have a pet that you submitted yet, think of one. Or if one pops in your head during the meditation, just hold that space, and then you can ask a question of that pet. And you would make that the question could be something as simple as, if you had something that you wanted to share with me, what would that be? If you have a message you want to share, what would that be? Um, and uh, and then uh, hold that space to be present for the information for the message to come through. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and have our feet flat on the floor. I think I have one person in a car. So if you're driving, do not do this practice. We are asking our egos to step aside, and our ego is a wonderful thing. It helps us to manage the, I don't know, 3,000 thoughts an hour or something that our mind does. So we really appreciate and thank our ego for supporting that. But we know that as we take a deep breath and we're preparing ourselves to transition to a higher frequency, that we can ask our ego to step aside for this time, that we're in a safe place, and that with the breath, we begin to draw on our awareness of our body and our surroundings. And as we're following the rhythm of our breath, we recognize and acknowledge any sounds that might be around us. And we'll hold those to the back of our minds. Maybe it begins to seem more like a soundscape in the background, something that's just part of this space. And with the rhythm of your breath, you start to imagine connecting to our Mother Earth. And that might be through the bottom of your feet. It might be through your tailbone or your sit bones. And that with the breath, that connection to Mother Earth, we begin to release to her anything that is not serving us at this time. We release any unnecessary or inappropriate connections. And that allows for space to be filled with that Mother Earth energy. And we feel that energy coming up from that center of the earth in pure love. And with our breath, we feel that pure energy flow up into our body and begin to fill in our heart space. And with our breath, we imagine that space expanding with love and with light. And with the rhythm of our breath, we become aware of that space just above our head. And we imagine that opening to connect with our Father Sky, with our Earth, with our Sun, with the planetary systems around us. and the other star systems and the galaxies. And with that connection, we recognize the wisdom that comes with time. And as we follow that rhythm of our breath, we allow that wisdom in the form of that pure energy to come down through our head and begin to fill in that heart space alongside with that energy from our Mother Earth. And together they blend and mix. And together with our breath, they help to expand our heart space so that we can be open with pure love and intention. If you find yourself drifting, just bring yourself back to your breath and imagine the energy flowing in that heart space and allowing that space to open and to grow. And make a note of how that experience is for you. Is there a physical feeling in your heart space? Are you visualizing that expansion? Can you hear the vibrations of that higher frequency? Is there a smell or a taste associated with that space for you? It could be something like smelling mountain air or the breath from the sea. It could be like tasting the purest water. Just with that breath, connect with that sense of knowing that you're open to receiving those messages of love. Okay. Now, while maintaining that rhythm with your breath, you can begin to open your eyes a little. Just have a very, very soft look, soft eyes, and bring to your mind your pet that you want to connect with. There might be more than one. So you can gently ask that just one step forward at this moment to give you the opportunity to practice this. We're new at it. And we want to be gentle with it. And if you have a question in mind for your pet, gently ask them and let them know that your intention is of the highest and the healthiest. It's coming from the most love. And keeping that connection, that heart space open, that heart connection. Just let them know that this is a safe place to share their thoughts, ideas, preferences, so that you might increase your connection together. And then remember that it's okay to receive and to take that very first message, that very first thought, that very first sense of the experience, and thank them for sharing that. If you feel like there might be more to it, you could always ask them to share a little more information or explain a little bit further. If you're still trying to open up that communication with the pet, just know that whatever message you might have for them, this is a really good time to share it as well. And letting them know that you appreciate their patience as you're trying to work on this practice. It's hard being human, and they know that. And that any help that they could offer would be greatly appreciated. So as you were capturing any last minute information or messages, you can thank them for taking time with you. And then bring yourself back to this time together. Start to open your eyes a bit. Maybe wake up your body a little. And without any thought, just write down key points to your experience. Anything that you thought, felt, saw, smelled, tasted. How did it feel to you when you were reaching out? And don't know if the right word is just feel, but what sense did you use when you were reaching out to your pet to let them know how much you love them and how excited you were to connect with them? Did it make you smile? Did you feel emotional? Right. So go ahead and finish up some last minute thoughts. Okay. Does anybody want to share anything about that experience?
Hmm, I can.
Okay.
Me.
Hi, Wendy. Sure. Yeah.
I was wanting to connect with Raven, who, yeah, but I was afraid to. And so when I prepared for our today, I was really wanting to talk to Raven, but three of my dogs came, my dogs that had passed.
Oh.
And yeah, and it's kind of sad. Um, Bandit, he had cancer, and he was like 15 or 16 years old. And when he was being put down, they had to give him two injections because the first one didn't work.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. And he thanked me for telling him it was okay to go.
So and that's the information you got during our session.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that's amazing, Wendy. How
Yeah.
beautiful.
I was able to talk because that's well, I talked to Sergeant, who's Bandit's son, and he had run away and got
Because
hit
of him.
by a car and died.
Oh,
Yeah. And so he apologized that he ran away and he couldn't spend more time with us. And then Sweetie, she was heartbroken when I had to move and I couldn't keep her. And she told me that she was so depressed that people who picked her up from the pound basically brought her back because she was so depressed.
oh.
And so um, I don't think anybody picked her up and loved her after that. So,
Well, so when you think about her now, you can send her love and
yeah.
you can tell her that she's always welcome to come into your space and that yeah, and that she can be part of the family now and yeah, and be able to heal from that. Oh, that's quite lovely. Thank you for sharing, Wendy. That's yeah. I don't know if anybody wants to follow that. No pressure. Okay, Melody. Yeah, go ahead.
Interestingly enough, Betty and my girl Betty, she came up on the chair beside me and she's literally came and stood on my lap. But we talked about my dog that died last year. And she is she is missing him as much as I am. And she asked me, she's always has a worried look on her face. When you look at her, she's amazing, she's smart, she does all kinds of things, but she always looks worried. And she asked me if I could love her as much as I loved him.
Oh, wow.
And I told her I do the best that I can and that she is amazing and that, yeah, I will work on it.
Mm. And I love your honesty as well to not just go, of course I love you as much. And because anybody that spent 5 minutes with me has heard me say that we are the most complicated beings on the
Um,
planet, right? And pets look at us and they're like, how can you talk to that person, you don't even appreciate, you don't even want to talk to them, or
Yeah.
how do or whatever. And, or you love that person so much, why don't you just tell them? Like
Yeah.
we have so much social stuff that we're responsible for. And, hi, buddy. And they just don't understand why we aren't just honest. And so really, Melody, to be honest like that and say, I'm going to be working on it was just absolutely gorgeous. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, for sure. All right. Who else?
I'll chime in.
Hi, Helen.
Um, I have a horse, and so for those of you hearing smaller pets who are actually with you, my horse is not in the room with me. Um, but I have very interesting sensation of a weight on my head. And it happened a couple of times, and I don't know what or why, but I appreciate the warning that that will be something that you don't expect, not a heavy weight. It may have just been my body relaxing in the weight of my head. But a very interesting thing is I don't know that I got any messages from my horse right now, but I got a message from another horse that you talked to, Marla.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So my friend's horse, and so not my horse that passed away, but my friend's horse that had the injury in the neck.
Oh,
Yeah,
and what message did you get?
it was more just just kind of appearing and like, oh, it's Marla. You're with Marla. And so and I think the message was that he's feeling better.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, it'd be interesting, Helen, if you can, at some moment, some time, you might try and bring yourself back to that space, how you felt, and then revisit how that weight felt on your head. And then just ask, like, is that you?
Oh,
Is that you, right?
yeah.
Um, is there, can you share with me a little bit more? Because I suspect that, so the, we have these senses, right? Um, People say there's five generally. I always say there's 5 plus 1 because pets can share taste with us. And so if your sense, your strong sense is actual feel, like physically feeling, then that would be the first thing that might come up. And so they'll share with you, like, they kind of go through your dictionary of terms and go, okay, now what can I pick out of here that's going to give the information so that she can give the message, right? So yeah, so it would be interesting to just explore a little bit. Because remember that just because you might have, and this just goes for the group, if you might have felt like, oh, I missed that opportunity, you missed maybe that one moment of opportunity. But when you go back and say, I want to try that again, and what did that mean? And you put in a little bit more interest into that, a little bit of time into it, who knows what would come out of that. Does that make sense? So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's not lost opportunity, it's practice, and practice makes better. And we always
Mhm.
all right, so that's lovely. I love that. Yeah. I also wanted to mention too that and I was just thinking about this, I don't know, this morning, maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, my days all, you know how they go, they blend. I was mucking stalls, and so that could have been any day, right? Any morning. So, but the thought that came to me was how often people will approach this kind of opportunity to communicate or create a connection or what have you with an expectation or a really strong desire, I would say, a strong desire to connect with a particular pet, living or past. Or people too, like some people will go to a psychic or a medium and say, I want to know about, with this person. And that, and for a number of reasons, that may not be the one that comes to you.
Mhm.
And, and sometimes that desire to connect with that particular person or pet is really strong, I believe, because some others are saying we really need to talk to her, and we know that for some reason she's like clued in on you. So I want to. So let's get you going here, and so. Sometimes people can be a little bit disappointed if they don't get to talk with a pet, particularly a pet that's passed. And again, it can happen for many reasons, but always remember too that if you are open to them with love and happiness, so it's hard for them to come to you with when you're grieving. Okay, because it's a lower frequency. There's a couple of different thoughts on this, but generally speaking, if you think about it, you're at a lower frequency and they're like, we can't go down there. We can't go to that. You have to raise yourself up. And so when you start to feel the grief, you can turn that into, I'm really sad because I remember how much fun we had when we would go to the beach and run and play. And I really miss those days with you and when we were there. And then all of a sudden you have that good memory, that positive, loving memory that you can allow to come up. And now you've raised your frequency up and you increase the chance that you can have that connection. That also goes with living pets too. The more that you can work with in kindness and in love, right? The better that improves for you. Does that make sense? Everybody, people are nodding, so okay, good. All right. Um, all right. Okay. It's getting to be dinner time, and one of the dogs came in with me, and I'm like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, oh, it's getting to be dinner time. That's fine. Anyway, he'll be retrieved here shortly. So, okay, who else has any thoughts or feedbacks or questions? Feedbacks. Um,
Um, it's Barb. Um, when I started, um, when I took the first class, you said to look at other pets, and so a friend of mine who's had an odd relationship with her cat, she said, okay. I said, send me his picture. So she did. It's an odd picture because it's kind of animated like a live picture. His mouth is always opening. The funny thing about it is, well, she's a really hyper woman herself, hyper. Um, and he like the love relationship, the hate relationship is that he's constantly meowing all the time, constantly meowing. And so I kind of tuned in. I was able to tune into him a bit, and he said, I have kind of a Tourette's for cats. So I'm always,
oh.
on the go. And sometimes her hyper helps me because in her own way she's kind of yada 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 herself, and when she's able to calm down, it soothes him, but he still has the mouth action going, the noise and stuff like that. So that was really kind of interesting how they're dynamic. And there was trauma because she's like his third owner, because people can't handle him. Yeah, but
So,
that was
so I think that that's really interesting for a couple of reasons. So first of all, um, the fact that he's like, I have something like Tourette's,
yeah.
right? Means that you understood what that even looked like. Like, what does that even mean? What's that experience feel like? Or what is that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other is that then he shared that, and where my mind then goes is, well, people have medications, whether it's herbs or through meditation, or they have ways to cope with Tourette's,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And if you could imagine, this poor cat has
Mhm.
Tourette's and no way to say, I need help with it. So by sharing with the owner, like, your cat has something similar to Tourette's, these are the kind
Mhm.
of symptoms that humans experience. These are the kinds
Mhm.
of things that humans find to be helpful. Is there anything that might be able to translate from human to cat, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
that was huge. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just funny because his goofy picture she sent me, his mouth was going. I was hoping to constantly. It was almost like a meme or something. I just want a photograph, just a straight photograph.
Well,
It's
and
just kind of her energy and his energy, though, when you think about it.
and
So,
right, and I always tell people that it's never a bad picture.
mhm.
Whatever picture that they choose is the right picture, or pictures that they choose is the right one.
Okay.
Because um I think spirit gets involved in that, and they say they help to guide the information that wants to be shared.
Mhm.
And that and then also when someone shares a picture, it subconsciously sets the tone and lets the pet know, like, I'm looking for a picture of you. Like, subconsciously, you're like, I'm looking for a picture of this pet because I'm going to be talking with, a communicator. We're going to be talking with Marla, or have this question. And
Mhm.
so when they go looking for those pictures, it like opens up that opportunity for that conversation. So it's
Okay.
two-sided. It's not just that as a communicator, it provides me with a way to connect with a pet, but on the human side, it actually helps set the stage for the pet to understand what we're going to be doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It does.
Mhm. And like you said, when you saw the picture, you were like, I just wanted a regular picture. But she sent me this one, and it was like, dun, dun, dun. It was, oh my gosh, that's just like their energy. And it led you right into the whole, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty good picture now that I think of it.
Right?
It's like, wait a minute, it's moving. He's talking in picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
good. Thanks, Marla.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Um, Anyone else? Yes, hi, Helen.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, I teach online, so welcome to my world. How do I make my hand? But there we go. Um, do you have any strategies for asking one question? I find that I'm sort of peppering questions out there and I'm not listening for an answer. How are you? What are you doing? Are you inside or are you outside?
Okay, so can you repeat that question for me again? Because you froze on me for a second.
Oh,
Might have been my.
sorry. Do you have
Yeah.
any strategies for just asking one question? I find that I'm wanting to sort of, it's like ask the same thing a bunch of different ways, but I don't really need to, I think. So,
Right.
I'm asking, are you inside or outside? Are you okay? Are you comfortable? Are you warm? Are you cold? Do you have, which blanket do you have on? Leaving no time for an answer. So
Mm.
Right. So a couple of strategies that could help. So one would be writing down the question and saying, and you could even start by saying, hi, hey there, I just want to check in with you for a minute. And I wanted to be sure that you were warm enough. And so, and then wait for that feeling. You could then say, um, could you share with me how you're feeling right now? And I'll tell you the hardest thing is holding space. We had a drum circle, an all-night drum a few weeks ago. And so I got up about 2 a.m. and got some whatever, sat down at the drum, and you hold the heartbeat. And there's 4 people on the drum and we're holding a heartbeat. So it's dun dun, dun dun, dun dun. And then because of the 4 of us, then you get into a race. So then all of a sudden you're like dun 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 dun, and all of a sudden we're having heart attacks. So we have to bring it back down again, right? Dun 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 dun. And I and for some reason it really came to me at how hard it is to hold space, to not rush it, to not do something different, to not. So for 2 hours to sit there and go dun 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 from about 2:30 in the morning till about 4:30 or 5 is kind of the time that I did that, and really stay focused and not have your mind wander and not end up with a heart attack and not end up all those things. So yeah, practice makes better. All right, go ahead, Linda.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here with everybody and hearing all the wonderful input. This last question actually raised a good question for me, which is when you're asking a question of a pet, is it better to ask it as a yes/no question or as an open-ended question?
Oh, that's a really good question. One second, I'm going to let my pet out because he's
Okay.
Come on, buddy. Let's go. Okay, come on. I think he was sure he was going to miss out, which he would, he wasn't going to, but he was getting concerned. And he's our older one. He's probably, we're not sure the age, but we're going to guess about 13 and a half. And he's starting to experience some sundowners.
Oh.
So he's deaf. And so, yeah, so when the evening comes and he just sort of, anyway, it's going to be an interesting experience helping him through this. Yeah. Through this time. Yeah. So, anyway, I feel we're very lucky to have him. So asking a question, yes or no, open-ended. Does it have to be an open-ended question? So does it have to be an open-ended question? I don't think any of the questions have to be anything. And it's more important to let them know, are you happy? And it's a yes or no, right? And, or are you feeling sick? Yes or no. And then you're going to say, well, I want to know why you're feeling sick, right? So could you share with me what's making you feel sick? So I think naturally in a regular conversation, if you approach it like a regular conversation with that curiosity, you will end up in more open-ended questions, even if you feel like you have to start with a yes, no, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, that does make sense. Because the other thing I noticed, you said you made a statement. I forget who it was you were talking to, and when you were talking about posing questions to them. And I was wondering about that too. Is it important to make actual questions for them? Does that help them versus just making a statement? Like, I just wanted to check in. If you say, I just wanted to check in, do they have any idea how to respond?
So they, I just want to, okay. So, if you say like, yeah, I just want to check in with you and just want to check in with you. They're like, okay. And you're
Right. Yeah.
like,
They might not, like, they might not
so
have a response, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and but then some of them you might like, hey, I want to check in with you. I'm so glad you came. Let me tell you how my day's been. They were like 5 minutes late, and I was really stressed about this and whatever, right? Or they might say, I'm so glad you came and asked because today the most beautiful rainbow showed up. So it really depends on the personality of the pet as well. And how often that you have conversations with them. So the more that you connect and chat with them, the quicker they are at responding. And then, by the way, full disclosure, they start to get spoiled about it, and you may just start hearing from them. So be
Oh.
prepared for that.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyone else have any other comments or questions? Okay, so I'm going to finish this part by just saying that when you're finishing with that conversation, always thank them for being with you. Like, thanks for sharing, and to let them know that you appreciate them. Thank them for being patient with you as you're practicing, because we're all practicing. And then it's important to say, okay, I'm gonna go now. And like, and whatever this looks like to you, hanging up the phone. Okay. So uh this is what, this is that experience when multiple pets show up and you're like, oh, okay, I've got to, we need to just chat with one. Who's going to go first?
Mhm.
Right? So almost like, working with a group of people, and you need to sort of put it in, get it organized, and say, all right, who's going to go first? And then, concentrate on that, and then you can move to the next. But it's really important when you're done, even with your own pet, to say, thanks so much, chatting with me. I'm going to go ahead and go now. And, let me know if there's anything I can, reach out. If there's anything that comes up, you just, pop that in my head, and I'll, uh, check in with you. Okay. Um, for some people, again, that's like a mental image. Some people might have, you'll see me do this, and I'll say, thank you very much. And that's me hanging up the phone.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, Helen, you're on mute. Were you going to say something? Oh, okay, sorry. So, okay. So what we're going to do now is, like I said, I got a group of pets that showed up. So Linda, you have Gracie, right? Okay. And so sorry, let me move this down. There we go. Gracie. Okay. You had a question for her about what makes her so nervous about going outside, going to the park, what have you. Do you have so I'll invite, because this is that group for that. I'm going to invite anybody who wants to reach out to Gracie and introduce yourself. But be very gentle, kind of let her know, like, hey, we're just practicing, and Linda wanted to know if, if there was something she could do to help you with being nervous. But I'll ask you, Linda, was Gracie one that you connected with during our
She was the one I had wanted to connect with. I don't know if you remember. And then Boots my cat kept coming in saying, no, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. So I didn't get to connect with Gracie. So I tried connecting with Gracie later. And I felt like we had an interesting little exchange and everything, but I didn't really get any answers around this particular thing about the nervousness. Um, but I did invite her to come and talk to me more in my dreams if she felt more comfortable doing that. And that night, she just spent the whole night with me. And by the end of the day, I kept thinking, or the end of the night, I thought, how come Bill hasn't shown up to find her? Because she's been with me all night. It was very funny. But I didn't really get anything clear about what it is that makes her so afraid of being outside, because this is a newish behavior in the last 6 or 8 months for her. And she just shakes and she's so upset. And then sometimes she's fine. Sometimes she's playing frisbee and all of that. And then she'll like go and run and get the frisbee. And then she'll come one time, she'll like go and she'll just like not get the frisbee because she'll just look at something like something's really scared her, but there's nothing there. And then she'll come back and she'll stand between his legs and her tail will be down and she'll be shaken. And
Oh,
we can't figure out like what's triggering her, because it's not even necessarily like she doesn't like loud sounds. We know that. But sometimes it just comes out of absolutely nowhere.
oh.
So
All right. So I'll just kind of ask the group, did anybody catch anything from kind of like taking a look at Gracie? And go ahead, Wendy.
Do you know if Gracie had ever been abused by someone?
no, not at all. She's been with Bill since she was a puppy, and let's say not in this lifetime.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, in this lifetime, she's been very loved and cared for and taken care of. And yeah, I mean, he's just so in love with her.
Okay.
So, okay, Carol. Oh, you're muted now. Sorry. There you go.
With my horse, I've discovered that I get in a hurry and it's easy for me to just lead her down the hall. And she goes, "Well, wait, I want to look at this. Wait, I want to look at that." And I'm starting to recognize that and take time and let her explore. And that's kind of the image I got with Gracie, is that she needs time to investigate, and maybe sniff or just check things out before she is turned loose to chase the frisbee. So maybe just noticing what she's noticing and let her sniff or look at or touch with her nose, maybe things in her environment.
So how old is she, Linda?
Gracie just turned 11.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 10. So that she was 10. So she just turned 11. So that's really close one way or the other. So there were so this is a bigger scope conversation than the 5 minutes we have.
Okay.
But because there's some layers to it that I'm catching, and they're coming from different places. So one was something about wanting to make sure that the house stayed safe.
Okay.
And um that sometimes comes up when season changes occur as well. Like sometimes it's an instinct thing where they feel like they're a little bit out of control. And when you couple that sometimes with getting a little bit older and maybe having some discomfort, and maybe like those things can all start to create a behavior change. Yeah. So so I think you're on the right track with sitting with her and then just asking her to share maybe breaking it down a little bit more, like today I noticed that you spotted something over here. Can you share with me what that looked like to you or what it felt like to you? What was that experience like for you? And I would start by picking something that was not traumatic, didn't stop her or make her start shaking, but instead ask for something that was a little bit simpler, like, I saw a shift in her, yeah, just in her being for a moment there. And then just ask her, like, what was that like? And maybe she'll start to give you a little bit of insight into kind of what's going on.
Thank you. Getting specific kinds of questions to ask her is very helpful. Like for me to be able to know to ask her like that, what you just said about the getting older, it triggered for me. That was the first thing she did show me when I was talking to her. She showed me that she's getting older and that's an issue for her, just that she's getting older and she doesn't respond to things in the same way as she used to. So it's very interesting that you picked up on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she's just, I guess I got that sense that she's feeling for herself that she's just, she's not the young pup she used to be.
Yep, exactly. And then they get just like, and I don't think they're too much different from us as people. It's like you think about it, people get a little older and then they're like, oh, now I can't do this and I can't do, and then it goes through waves, it comes and goes. It's, not always a permanent fixture, but it's certainly, but sometimes it is. So yeah, glad it helped a little bit. You bet.
Yeah. Thank you for the specific questions and for the feedback, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. So, Peggy, there you are. I'm like looking through my, so Concho. So, and I just was so funny. So the picture on the bottom there, you guys can imagine Concho's just like, right, full Monty. And so I was like, oh, I have to hide that from.
I was envisioning those little screen blurring things they do on TV.
Exactly. Don't look here. So, so, so we could just take a second and kind of connect with Concho and say, hey, would you like a new bed? And if so, what kind would you like? So of the different options that he's got, what is his preference? So Peggy, did you ask that question when we were doing our thing?
I did. And I felt like I got an image of that bolster bed. That one is a hand-me-down from my yellow lab, and so it's big for him, but he still likes to cuddle against the back of it. But I got that bolster bed, but the second image I got was sleeping in my bed.
Well,
if you
did ask.
yeah. But that's really an option I prefer not to explore.
And you can let him know that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I would love for you to be able to do that too, but we can't because we need to have a good night's sleep, or we need whatever the reasons are that's
right.
not a great fit for you.
Yeah.
Just be honest with him and let him know that. But by the way, that was the one I got as well.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So I think that yeah, I think that the kind of the round donut one is like, I know it's supposed to be comfortable, but I just can't quite just can't quite get it there.
You mean that's what his thought is. Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing he started doing in the last few years, we do let him up on I let him up on both love seats, and he's got a blanket on each one. And the one on mine is more of a loose blanket. And in the last few years, he started doing the digging and making a nest out of it. And he he does it when I'm not looking. Like if I get up to get a drink, he'll get it all arranged. And this blanket that I cover him with at night, it's a small fleece throw. And he's been fine with that for a couple of years. But now this past week, he's been taking it and getting it all arranged in a way where most of it's on the floor. And so I've been experimenting with, does he not want to be covered up? And so tonight I'm going to just put the throw in the middle of that that snuggle bed and see what he does with it. But I'm starting to think maybe he wants a bolster bed, but with a blanket in it that he can fix as a nest, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and
but-
that's right. I'd forgotten that part of the question was a blanket, or you had mentioned that. And and as you were talking about it, it was like, yeah, blanket too. So yeah, I don't know that he necessarily wants to be covered with it, but yeah, he enjoys being able to do that.
To
Did anybody else catch anything? Oh, yes. Karen.
So the moment I saw him, the word that immediately entered my mind was an orthopedic bed.
Yeah. He's getting we think he's going to be about 11 in a few months. So he's getting up there a little bit older. And underneath that snuggle bed, I have that orthopedic kind of egg crate thing to kind of give the snuggle bed a little more support. But the bolster bed has that egg crate kind of orthopedic mattress, sort of, if you will, in it. And I'm kind of thinking that may be a good option for him as he's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Karen.
And we'll have that conversation about whose bed we're sleeping. We'll each have our own bed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So let's see here. Oh, so Wendy, you sent a picture of Zane. You didn't ask me to include him, but then oh, would you like a new bed? No, he doesn't want a new bed. I'm sorry, you guys. So that's what I do when I do a quick thing. Zane's question, or really Wendy was like, hey, Zane's been doing good with some changes that she's made. And so I thought so forget the question, just take a look at Zane's picture, and he's done enough communication. I feel like he would be okay with us as a group. And you can just ask him like, hey, Zany, how are you? And is there anything that you'd like to share with Wendy? And then I would just say, is there a first word, impression, thought that's jumped out to anybody? Yep, Carol.
He just seems very, I'm trying to think of the word, very content isn't the right word, but content with who he is, confident. I guess those are the two words that came to mind immediately when I saw him.
Anybody else?
I keep feeling like he's got like a new something, like I don't know if it's like a saddle pad or like something that he seems really comfortable and happy with, like some sort of tack change that he is feeling really good about.
Did you change something,
A
Wendy?
different bit.
Maybe, I don't know. I kept thinking saddle pad. It's that like something about underneath, but maybe that's it.
I did change his saddle pad a couple years ago, and the other ones would, where the wither is, like our neck.
Yeah.
They would just press on his wither, but that was a couple years ago. I'm happy with it too.
I got the same message about the saddle patch. And I don't know if it's because we see it in the picture. That's kind of what I assumed. So I tried to sort of push it away, but it was an image of a saddle pad and a happy horse. So you chose well, Wendy.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Have
That is
have
awesome.
you been thinking lately, Wendy? Have you been thinking like, do I need to get a new saddle pad, or is this
No, I
good?
have not, because I've been happy with it.
Good. Okay.
But
Did a
he,
friend get a new one, or did anybody in the barn that
not that I know of. I know there is a new girl there who she doesn't know if her saddle fits. So but she can't ride Friday yet because Friday's needing some desensitizing and loving, I would say. But maybe that's it. I don't know. But no, thank you about the pad, because I always worry about something. I'm just a worrier.
right? And I wouldn't be surprised if the new person, if Zane's like, don't change anything, like don't worry about it, because sometimes it's something that they've had for a while, but then if somebody else changes it around them, and they're like, I don't want my person to catch up on that one. I don't want them to catch on or think about changing that. Does that make sense? Like
It
sometimes it
does.
comes to their mind because they're like, I don't want that to happen. Yeah.
Well, thank y'all. I needed to hear that. And he's
Yeah.
doing great.
Yeah. And so for you, Carol, that shared that he was feeling comfortable in his own self, um, that's that took a while for Wendy to be able to crack that code.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it.
But you helped me because you recommended the lemon balm.
He recommend right through a
He did
conversation.
it, and then he
Yeah.
told me. Yeah.
Yeah, through a conversation. Lemon balm was the thing for him.
Mhm.
And it's inexpensive. It's not an expensive horse thing. And because if you put, horse on it for each letter of that word, it adds a, decimal point. It seems like.
Well, and what she may also think or interpreted is I've been writing Zane a lot more. So I'm getting more calm with him, and so maybe that's why he feels comfortable with himself, is because we're starting to connect.
That's awesome. Okay. Um, is Lily on the call with us? No.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's because it's Susan, not Lily.
Yes.
So, so thank you, Susan, for going, yes, Lily's on the call with us because I represent Lily. Yes. Okay. So, oh yeah. Okay. So, is there anything you can do for her itchiness? And, so let's just take a moment and see if anybody wants to sort of ask, Lily, and I'm just letting Lily know that this is with a group of people and they're all practicing about animal communication. And so we're just here to see if there was any information you'd be willing to share, Lily, about the itchiness, and if there's something that Susan can do to help with that. And so, okay, so with that, did anybody catch anything? Yep, Wendy?
I told Lily that Raven had allergies and that he would be biting his sheath. And the vet told me about a certain soap, a bar that's made for itchiness and stuff. And Lily said that she would like to try it. And try anything at this point.
Sorry, Carol, I have to kind of mute you and unmute you because yeah, it gives feedback. But okay, so Wendy, you were saying, and I'll unmute you in a second, Carol. So Wendy, you were saying there was a bar of soap that helped.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And I can go look at my bars of soap, and I can text you the name because I can't think of it right now.
Okay. Mm. All right.
And
So
it's
go ahead.
inexpensive. Inexpensive.
Yeah. Okay. So, go ahead, Carol.
Um, so two things came to my mind. One was, are there some essential oils that could help her? And I just did a quick Google search, and there's some that are toxic, but there are some essential oils that could help. And then somebody mentioned allergies, and that was the second thing that came to my mind. Has she had any allergy tests done? My horse had a lot of allergies. We did the allergy test, and now she's on shots for those allergies, and I didn't know if they did that very same thing with dogs or not.
We have done the allergy panel and she has had shots in the past.
And and it's environmental?
Yes.
Yep. And so, and then you heard from Wendy about like she had a dog that was scratching on her paws. And while Wendy was talking about that, I was scratching my hand. So, I think what I was catching was environmental. And I think it's a it's a challenge to try and keep them clean enough from the stuff to without drying them out and giving them a bath every 2 seconds. Have you ever used anything like the Zyrtec or
I have, and it hasn't done anything that I've seen.
So the environmental is what's causing it, but I suspect that her immune system is probably compromised in some way that's creating that allergy to surface itself. This would probably be good for a deeper conversation to try and dig into to see what is there some food stuff that then you could you could remove and change, and then that might help. I have found that this is a process that does help with allergies. Like a pet will say, I can't do potato, or I can't do, like, it's amazing. So, you could do that process yourself, looking at the food and then looking at the ingredient and then just checking in with your intuition, right? Like, does that feel right or wrong? And, and then maybe look for some validation. It's hard. Yeah. There's definitely allergies are hard.
Yeah.
Another way, okay. Sorry, I start, if you look at ways to reduce inflammation, I'm catching you'll get more success with helping to reduce the itchiness. Because if you do reduce the inflammation, it's going to help her nervous system and help her, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you, Lily. She's like, yeah. All right. So let's see. I don't see Tammy on the call with us. Right? That's right. Okay. So we'll go past that. And is Melody's here, right? She was earlier. Yeah, hi. Like, where is she? Okay. Yeah, so one second for me. I was just gonna say, yeah, okay. And then Leslie, I know that you had Bentley, and then Carolyn, you had Fiona and Angel. So if you guys are okay, we can go a few minutes over and do the next three. Okay, whoever can stay, or that I'm sure these three would appreciate the help and the insight. Okay, so why do you get reflux after eating?
Mute.
All right. Anybody,
Mm-mm.
anybody catch anything? Yep, Carol?
Is she a fast eater?
I feed her raw, and she uses a slow feeder.
Anybody else? Okay. Um, so Melody, my stomach, actually, my stomach started to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to say it hurt. I'm going to say it was uncomfortable. And so I tried to drill into that a little bit more to see where that comfort, where the discomfort, but you know, this is so interesting. The thing that's come up 3 times when I've been asking, like, well, what's uncomfortable? What's uncomfortable? Is water. So I don't know if okay. So because I said I started to begin to say, what is the right? Um 1 second, somebody had to go. Okay. Um I started to say, well, Betty, are you dehydrated? And immediately it was check my gums.
Oh,
So are my gums sticky?
No, no. And she drools. She drools a lot. Yeah. And
Is,
yeah.
has the reflux been recent, like in the last 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, right. Recent is not 6 months, but I got the number 6 months, and we're just gonna roll with that. Okay. So it's been
Yeah.
about 6 months. How are her teeth?
They're doing well. It started when she was pregnant, and I literally started feeding her raw about 2 months before she got pregnant. And I don't know if it's the raw feeding because it's a very quality pre-made.
Okay.
I'm not just feeding her.
Okay. So so the first thing I got was water, and I was like, well, is it the kind of water you're getting, or you're not getting enough water, or whatever? And then I got the dehydrated, right? And
Okay.
it was like, well, check my gums, like I'm dehydrated. I'm like, okay, not getting enough water. So then I also got a feeling in my body that got kind of overheated. And so I was like, I wonder if that food has like turmeric or garlic or
Yeah.
something like that in it.
That's
Um,
feeding her.
it's
Yeah.
heating her up. Yep, exactly. And so with those, that combination of those things are not, people say, turmeric's great for you or garlic's great for
Yeah.
you. And I know for me, I have a very specific brand that I can use for turmeric for myself. If I try and do anything else, it does not work. And you could try and sell me on garlic all day long and onions, and it's not, I know. My system just is not friends with that. So I would look at the
Okay.
ingredients, see and again, just like who else was it that we were talking to? Sorry, was it with Lily maybe that you were gonna look at yeah, like look through the ingredients to see, like, just take a moment um with Betty and looking at the ingredients and kind of run them through your mind, and it's amazing what will pop up.
Okay. I will
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, give it a try. It's absolutely worth it. Worth the effort. Okay, Bentley. Let's see.
mhm.
Bentley. So, um, Oh, what are you asking me when you use that unique vocal barking sound is what I put in to sort of give us a, okay, so let me tell you a little bit story about this, about Bentley for a minute here. Okay. So I was putting together the slide and I downloaded Bentley's picture like, oh, I don't know, 100 times. And it was not showing up in the folder. And then I was trying to put it on the slide and it wasn't going there. And I was like, dude. And he was like, it's my secret.
That's what it feels like.
It's your secret.
He has a unique sound or a tone for all sorts of things. And there's just this one that we just cannot figure out what he is trying to tell us or ask us. And he's a very clear communicator otherwise. So it's just really stumped us.
Yeah, so it's his secret. So is he one of those kind of guys that I wouldn't say he's a finicky eater, but I would say that he'll be like, I don't want that anymore. I'm going to go and do this now. Or I like he'll really enjoy something for a while and then he's kind of done with it and he changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, if it's an idea of his, yes. Yes.
Right, right, exactly. So that's him, what I'm catching. And so you guys let me know if anybody's caught anything similar. What I'm catching from this is that it's a way of showing his independence. He's like, I'm just going to go blah, 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 blah. And you're like, what do you want? And he's like, this is a fun game. So yeah, he was like, this is my secret. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It does.
I
Yeah, it really does. And we thought for a while that it was him wanting to, because sometimes he would go and boop the crate like he was ready to go to bed. But I mean, he'll walk up to you and just yell at you, and then you're like, "What? Like, what do you?" And it's not. He doesn't want to go outside. He's not hungry. He's not thirsty. He doesn't want to play. It's just him being like, and we're like, what? And so we're like, do you want to go to bed? And sometimes he would seem like he wanted to go to bed. So we're like, maybe he's just having a hard time settling himself.
Mhm.
But that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not getting, yeah, I'm not, yep, I'm not getting that he has a hard time selling. I'm telling you, he was not, he was like putting the paw up on me all the like, and he's like, it's my secret. I'm like,
sounds very accurate. Thank you.
okay, okay, it's your secret. So what a doll, by the way. I just love him. And he's got it, and he's so engaging.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay. And then Carolyn,
Yeah.
hi.
Hi.
Okay, so we have Angel
Mhm.
and Fiona and Angel are both in this picture.
Yes.
And what's interesting about this is that when we connected, you reminded me, Carolyn, that that Angel was being very shy and
Mhm.
not coming forward to connect.
Mhm.
And then I saw, the two pictures that you sent over, and it is Angel that's back against the couch, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So even the picture that you sent is like, this is a wallflower. Like she
Yeah. At this moment, I've got dining room chairs that have um skirts on them, and she's under one of the dining room chairs, under the skirt. Yeah.
right. So when I go and come in to communicate, even if
Yeah.
it's remotely, yeah, she's like, you're a stranger danger. So we had to work, right? But they get a little bit nervous about that. So she still has that tendency with becoming emotionally close with somebody. And what I gather, though, is that she likes to bring happiness to others. So I don't know that
Yeah.
it's so much that she likes being petted by strangers.
Yeah.
Does that make more sense?
It totally does, because I can't imagine. I mean, some people kind of manhandle her, but she's fine. And I'm like, I don't think you would like that, but she's okay with it. She doesn't walk away. She doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can choose, right? Yeah. So what I'm catching about this is that for her, she's doing that for them
Mm.
and giving them some love and some peace. And then kind of like um an empath,
Hmm.
it's hard for her to be emotionally close to people because because she just feels like she absorbs it and what have you. So, um, and thank you so much, Angel, because here you came forward with that with like this group of people. And so that's really a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
Um, so that's so that's really good to know so that whenever you think about practices, ways that you can that an empath can stay healthy, those are the kind of thoughts, ideas and such that you could be using with Angel, giving her those clues and those hints. Like, hey, you don't have to carry this, you don't have to hold that,
Yeah.
what have you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you,
Thank you.
Angel, for
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you, Angel. I wasn't sure if she
I
would.
wasn't either, but yeah, it was like, I'm doing this. I'm here for the people. I'm like, wow, okay. All right. So those were our 8 + 1 or so. What's next? So always, right? If you're ever interested in scheduling a session, anybody who's been a client and worked with me in the past and you just need like 15 minutes, you can always reach out and say, can we do like a quick one? It doesn't have to be a full half hour or whatever. I think if, half of you are like, yep, I've done that before, right? So and you can always, if you can't find a time or whatever, you can always text me or email me and I get to it when I can get to it. And we can find a time because I always have little wiggle rooms that I can work with. And then sharing the gift of the connection. So it's that time of the season. And so I'd be remiss by not saying that gift cards are available. And I was looking up on like making gift cards available for somebody to like just purchase on my website or whatever. But the cost of setting that up, I'm not ready to do that yet. So you can just email me and say, hey, I'd like to do this. And actually the cool part about this as well is I can provide you a little flyer gift card kind of thing that you can share, but you don't pay for it until after the person does our session. Okay. So um uh so, it's not going to be a gift card that sits on the shelf for 3 months and you've had money in in that. So, all right. So, happy to do that. And then, of course, anyway, donations for our time here tonight is always appreciated. If you have any questions or problems with that, let me know. But I thank everybody for doing that as well. All right. Any other closing thoughts, questions?
We can go to your website to sign up for the online animal communication too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
So, yep, on my website, there is courses and you pay for that at the time that you register.
Yes,
And yeah,
that sounds good.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I was going to skip December for connecting with the pet. And but we will grab another date in January, and I'm just gonna figure out what that looks like. I'll probably do it ahead of the level 2 courses, so that we all have the opportunity, particularly those that are interested in doing the next level, would have an opportunity to maybe practice or sort of kind of get back connected with the group. Yeah. What else? Anything else? Am I missing anything? Have a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas. And remember, you guys, share details with your pets during the season, right? people are coming over, you're going to be decorating, you're going to be cooking, you're going to be leaving, whatever that looks like. So share details with them, stay close to them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate everybody.
Thank
Love
you.
you all.
Bye.
Take
Thank
care. Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.